Hey guys, in this video I'm going to teach you how to scale to 7 figures as a location independent entrepreneur. Please smash that subscribe and like button so I can keep making videos like this for you. Now, the reason I want to make this video is because there are a lot of digital nomad videos that teach you how to be a digital nomad and start an online business, but there are not really a lot of digital nomad YouTubers that are actually run a successful business. Most of them are freelancers and so on. And in this case, I wanted to come at you with a different perspective, which is from the perspective of me and my friends. So I for example, run a 7-figure marketing agency. My best friend runs a 7-figure marketing agency as well. So I wanted to give you a different perspective as we've been traveling the world for a few years, and we've actually been able to build a really successful business while being able to live in different places. All right, guys, so let's get into the first crucial ingredient, and that's choosing the right business model for where you're at. So one mistake I see a lot of beginners make when they're starting out with, being a location independent entrepreneur is choosing the right business model. So here's the thing. The type of business starts depends on your current situation. So what I usually tell people is if you, for example, have a really valuable skill set, but you don't have any capital, then start out in something like high-ticket consulting, high-ticket courses, etc., where you can basically sell info products or maybe do consulting or maybe even do a service. Now, on the other hand, if you have a lot of capital, but perhaps you don't have that many skill sets, I think e-commerce would be a great fit for you, because in e-commerce, the biggest barrier for entry often is the fact that you do need to put capital into it. For example, if you're starting an Amazon store, you do need money to test products and buy inventory, etc. And then if you don't have capital and you don't have skill, it's definitely going to be a little harder, but you can still start out by doing services. There are a lot of different things you can learn, like copywriting or coding, that you could literally learn in a few months and be able to make enough to, basically travel the world and then develop that into an agency from there. So you really want to be able to choose the right path depending on where you're at right now in terms of your skills, in terms of the amount of capital you have, etc. Now let's get on to the second big part of this, right? So the second big part of this is the fact that you really need to have the right peer group. So this is crucial because honestly, what I see a lot is a lot of entrepreneurs, especially location independent entrepreneurs or digital nomads, they don't really have a great peer group. They have a very small peer group of entrepreneurs. Most of their friends are not into it, or maybe they travel around, they'll make a couple of friends in a city and then leave them behind. Now, in my case, with my friends, what we've done is we've created a peer group of friends who are all really, really into entrepreneurship. And we all met when we were younger, but then we added new members to the crew as we traveled the world, and we found new members to the crew to add to our group. Now, the importance of this is honestly, because of how difficult it is to start an online business, it's not an easy thing. You need people on the same path so you don't give up and so that you stay motivated. I would say half of the reason I've been able to scale my agency so fast is because my best friend also is scaling an agency, and we're literally, we both started out at zero, and we're both always pushing each other. We both kind of compete with each other because we both want to do better, but we also help each other because worst case scenario, if he ends up really rich, I can go hang out on his yacht. So, and vice versa. So it's kind of a competitive dynamic. So it's really important to meet high quality people. Now, how do you meet high quality people that are on the same path as you? So one thing to consider is if you meet a friend while being a digital nomad or while living in, somewhere, really take the effort to get to know them, maybe invite them out and so on. And make sure you're making friends who are actually on the same path as you. So don't go hang out with, somebody who wants to basically work a 9-to-5. Go find other location independent entrepreneurs. So another great tactic is actually join masterminds, or maybe join a expensive course, which will almost always have some sort of student Facebook group, and meet people there and invite them out. So for example, I'm part of multiple very, very expensive programs where I've met really high quality people, and I've made a 20x return on joining because I've gotten clients, I've made friends, I've learned really useful information. So when you start paying to enter a group, any sort of mastermind or high-level group, you're basically going to meet higher quality people. So the third ingredient of being a location independent entrepreneur and starting a 7-figure agency and building a 7-figure agency, and to be completely transparent, it can take a few years. It took me around 2.5 years. Is that you need to have focus and stability. So this is kind of a paradox, because if you're a digital nomad, you're traveling from place to place often while, building a business. So it's kind of difficult to achieve that stability. And the big mistake I see a lot of digital nomads make is that they do two things wrong. The first is they'll go to the complete opposite time zone of where their clients or where their business partners and team is. So for example, if you run an agency or services business and your clients and your team are in the US time zone and you're in Asia and it's like day and night difference, that's going to completely mess you up. So that's an important part of the stability. You need to be in a great time zone for your business until you completely automate it, at which point you can do whatever you want. Now, the second piece of it is stability of environment. So if you're starting out and you want to build your business, what I would recommend is go find a city you like and go stay there for a year or 2 years. So for example, my friend group, we lived in Medellin, Colombia for 2 years. Both my friend Ryan and I massively increased our businesses because we had a stable environment. We knew where everything was. We had a great flow, and we would take trips once in a while. I went to Brazil for a month, or I'd visit Toronto, or I'd visit other parts of Colombia. But we had that home base for a couple of years, and it was an awesome home base. I got all the benefits of the digital nomad lifestyle, which is I got to go on really amazing adventures with my friends. I got to live in a cheaper country where I could basically outsource my cooking, cleaning, and everything for the fraction of the cost I would have to pay in my home city, Toronto. So basically, I got the best of both worlds, where I had this, experience of living in a different culture, learning a new language, and just having an awesome blast with my best friends, while also being extremely productive. And honestly, it just came down to the fact that I chose a really good city that I loved a lot in the world, which was Medellin, and just decided to stay there while doing side trips. Now, at this point, my business is a bit more mature. So for example, I'm currently in Iceland, which is why, you see me here kind of a little cold. But the reason I'm able to do that, and I'm only here for a month, is because my business is stable. It doesn't really need me to run as much. So I can take a month off, or I can take a month really easy and work half hours if I need to. But I basically choose the places where I can grind and, just stay for longer. And then those are my grind months. And then I'll take like a month where I'm like taking it easy. So that's, what happens after a while. But you really need that focus and stability, and you need a stable environment for a couple years while building your business. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do it in your home city, but go find a city that's in the right time zone and has the right peer group. And the other advantage of this is it allows you to build social circles and really good friends and find people on the same path. And because you're staying in the same city as them, you're not gonna basically lose those friends because they go to a different city. So that's basically a really, really important tip. Okay, so let's talk about part 4, which is you need the right information. So one thing that you really need to do is to invest in the right information and the right knowledge as you grow your business. So we've always invested heavily in masterminds and implemented very heavily. The reason for this is because as your business grows, you're going to get new problems, and you need to find out ways to solve those problems. And when you solve those problems, you get paid big. And the best way to do that is find people who've done it and just pay them to do it. Now, whether this is courses, masterminds, this is very valuable. And I can literally see that where, we invested $5,000 into a course a couple of months ago or 3 months ago, and we've already made something like, $20,000 back from that investment. And that's just the direct benefits and not the indirect benefits from networking and potentially getting new clients and so on. So it's really important to invest in masterminds or courses as you scale your agency and to get the right information. And you need to find the right information at the right time. So the way I do this is I will only go through one course at a time, and usually it will be over a few months. Like a really good course, you need to be focused on implementing that over a period of a couple of months. Now, if you're the type of person who goes from course to course, that's not great. Honestly, for me, I went through one course in full this year, and I implemented massive action on that. And that has been extremely beneficial for the business. So yeah, guys, definitely invest in information, because that gets you to the next level of being a successful location independent entrepreneur. Now, let's get into the last part, which is you need the right team. And actually, I think this is probably the most important part. But the reason for this is, if you have the right people that are working in your business with you, it makes all the difference. For me, a big part of this was having the right business partners. And what I've seen is agencies or businesses where there's 2 people or 3 people typically grow exponentially faster. So, if you have a business partner, your business will probably grow 3x to 4x faster if you find the right person. And the reason for that is because entrepreneurs have strong points and weak points. So for example, I'm very strong at creativity, at being visionary, or coming up with new ideas and starting new things. I'm really bad at implementation. I'm really bad at operations and systems and being very organized. So my business partners are great at that, and my business partners are great at things I'm weak at, like finance. So we basically are able to move a lot faster, and we are able to cover our weaknesses, and everybody's working together. And honestly, the sum is greater than its parts in the case of scaling a business. So it's really important as you scale your agency or your business or your e-commerce store, whatever it is, at a certain point, you may consider bringing on a business partner or somebody who has a stake in your business. It doesn't have to be 50-50. You could give them 5%, 10%, but you want to bring them on and really give them ownership so they are motivated to cover your weak points and just help you scale this business. And then on top of that, you also want to hire people who, cover the weaknesses of other people on the team or cover your weaknesses. So really important to keep that in mind. I've heard of people being able to scale to 7 figures with very few employees, but honestly, as you grow bigger, you do need to learn how to hire. You do need to really understand the importance of hiring and get good at it and read books about it and really try to, give it a shot, right? And the reason why is because once you get good at hiring, you can literally grow any kind of business, because you can hire people who can build that business while you are kind of the strategist and you just bring people together. So that's like a really important skill set. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about growing an agency, I'll have a link to another video on scaling from 6 to 7 figures. And once again, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe if you like this, and I hope to see you again. Cheers.